Alright, I'm gonna try my best to explain how I made this whole gun game fiasco work. Um, Outside of the map's probably the simplest thing. It's like Halo Reach Forge if you ever played that. But this house is literally all just different props, hand placed and hand scaled and hand rotated. Um, which makes it it was tedious, but it wasn't the most tedious part by any means. It wasn't bad at all. The only weird thing is if you use like floors, like if I take this is like one of the things. And I think if you go under it somehow, or like if I just get a floor and move this up. Oh, this one doesn't have it. Some floors you can't like see under them. Maybe it's the wood ones. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But I know that's the same for the walls. Like here, these are walls, the wall prop, and they don't have a texture on the bottom. So, yeah. It's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. That's why there's like these things here, because if I move these guys out, I think these are the brick walls, and you can like, yeah, it's buggy, but that's how the map was made. It was just looking at reference photos and then trying to make it work as best as I can. Oh, these things are nice. These are the ramps. If you ever want to make like nice looking roofs, I would use these ramps. They're fucking so nice. But anyways, this is all the devices it takes to do 10 people with 20 different guns in gun game. The basic stuff are these things over here. Uh, these are super simple. This is like when any player gets a kill, you want to refresh their health. So this is just a player event device. It triggers when an enemy gets killed, and you link it here with a sat max health and refresh health event when the condition is met. Some other stuff over here. This just triggers a score increase. The important thing is it's activating team. That's how all this is broken down. Like this is team 1, team 2, team 3, team 4, and so on and so forth. That's why it's all labeled like this. Like team 5, team 5S, team 5K1, team 5W1, and all that stuff. This stuff over here, I think this just resets the score and clears the items. This thing's useless. This is left over from something I was doing. So don't worry about that. That doesn't really matter. But actually, how this thing actually works is it'd probably be helpful if I do this. The idea behind it was, and then let's try and go here. I copy and paste this in, and that should be elite. Fuck, whatever. Okay, so you got to think about all your guns, like ones and zeros. So like this gun here, this is the starting one, the 1911, so that'd be first. Then I think it's the FAMAS, and then P90, and so on and so forth. So it's the M1911's here, FAMAS is here, P90 is here, but just gonna consider them ones and zeros. The goal of what this is supposed to do is every time you get a kill, is to move this one over to here, and then reset this guy to 0. That's like the basic idea. Um, so I go 0, 1, 0, 0. That's it. And then it just does this a bunch. That's all this thing is really doing. And in computer science, it's called bit shifting, and that doesn't really matter, but that's the idea behind it. And so this is just team one, but it's the same thing for all the other teams. You basically just have to take this circuit here and repeat it however many times you want for however many teams. That's the width. And then for however many guns you want, you have to increase the height of this. And I put these things down to help me organize because this was a bitch to try and figure out. But I'll show you the most basic version works like this. But this is the first kill event. This is the first weapon event. And these have to be active when the round starts. The round starts, this one's active. And that's how it works. Because you can turn these devices on or off, like deactivate or activate them. So the first two are always active, and then the ones after that are always not active. So activation phase none, activation phase none. And that repeats on for the whole entire thing. Because like once I show you the first three, you can just repeat it for however many you want, and you can look at all these and it works the same. Like it's just a pattern that goes down, and what you have to do. But the basics is, so on your first kill, you want to deactivate this device here. So you deactivate this guy. And then you activate the next one. So since this one is never active, you have to activate it and say, hey, you're on now. Because this is for weapon 2. And then you want to activate the next Team 1 kill event. Because that's all these things are. These things just create an event whenever a player gets a kill from Team ID 1. And then it provides the item. So it's going to go through. When this one gets triggered, it's going to deactivate this, which is the M1911, activate this, which is the FAMOS, activate this kill event, and then it's going to provide this weapon, which resets your inventory. So it resets your whole entire inventory, gives you FAMOS with use reload without ammo. And then the last part of all this is that kill event 2, when it gets activated, it deactivates the device behind it. So when this one gets turned on, this one says, hey, I'm on, let's turn this guy off. And that's like the basics. Because then as you go down, if you look at like if it's activated or not, like if it's activated it's 1, if it's not activated it's 0, so beginning it's 0, 0, 0, or 1, 0, 0. And then when you get the next kill, it turns into 0, 1, 0. Because these two get deactivated and these two get activated. And I maybe could have made this simpler. I'm not entirely sure, but it works. So, and then this just gets repeated a bunch. Now the annoying part is like let's say you want to come in and add a gun. If you want to add a gun, these are just like this just gives people throwable damage. This increases all their damage when they get a pan. That doesn't really matter. But if you want to add a gun, I would come over. I would take this. I would V-snap it, then put it here, and then I would take this guy, put this guy here, and then yeah. So then I would have to increase this. So this is T1, Team 1, their 20th kill, and then this should be Team 1, their 21st weapon. And the nice thing is like if you get all your weapons lined up like this is what I did. Is I went through, I placed down all my weapons that I want for gun game. You could just copy and paste them without eventing over and over and over. That's all I did. You can't copy and paste with events because you have to set up new devices per team. But you can keep the weapon configuration like this thing by copy and pasting it. Like this thing should have it. But since I took this, did control left click, it has none of the events that were tied to T1 W20 like this one has. But anyways, so to go through the pattern again of off, on, deactivate, and then deactivate this one. You can remember it like a formula. Like if you look, it's so since I'm on the 19th kill event, I want to go turn off the weapon that's 19, and I want to activate the weapon that's 20, provide the weapon that's 20. And because this is the last one, it didn't have the kill event, but in here, I want to make sure it has T1, 20th kill. And move that guy there. The order of operations does matter. What I mean by that is like the order of this does matter. I didn't test it with anything but this, so I wouldn't do anything but this, but if it may work without it, so I don't know. So now this one has everything set up right to have another weapon. It activates this device. So when this gets activated, we want to turn off, since I'm on the 19th kill event, I want to turn off 19. So 20 minus 1, deactivate. When the condition's met, I want to take weapon 20, deactivate that device, and then activate the next device, which will be 21. Activate and provide. And since this is the last one in the sequence, it you don't need this step here where you activate the next kill device because there's nothing else to activate. So there should always be like there should always be a gap here. That's basically what that means. That spot should always be empty. And then we could change this to be like 3-year. Get rid of the pan and stun gun. And then give myself fucking Groza, because why not? Hit play. Oh, I'm gonna have to like run around and actually play this. It's way easier when testing if you move all the player spawns in. It's like when I was testing, I would go over here. Because I set this up to actually be played on. Alright, let's see if we can make this work real quick. Put this guy here. We'll make this for Team 2. And we'll make this for Team 1. And make sure you have this option on to field test players. And then hit play. I gotta run around until I get 20 kills. And you do this like the entire time. Like test it. You have to go through all the way start to finish. Why did I do this? What was I doing with this for? It's way easier though if you move the spawns like I did. There's just other ones, so it's kind of fucked. There's a motherfucker back there. Hello. Yikes. I would not test it like this if you're doing this. I would move all this. I would delete all the spawns when you download the map. Just remember what they were, and then make however many spawns that you want teams for, and then put them in the line because you're gonna have to go through and test each team one by one. Because I only made that Groza change for the first team. Like that's sort of the problem. That's what makes this so tedious. Is you have to do what I just did for however many guns you want, for however many teams you want. So I had to go through and place like 500 devices to make 10 teams work. Panzer? Oh, fuck. Oh, what the? That guy just got... I did not... That may be a problem. It's a one-shot headshot, that motherfucker. It's fine. And this should give me Groza. Ooh, wait, hold on. I wonder... I didn't change this. I hope this still applies. Please don't just auto-win. Alright, nice. Yeah, now it gave me Groza. That's another thing. If you increase the guns, you can increase the target score. And the team count if you increase the number of teams. Now when I kill a guy, it should win the game. And yeah, it's set up right now to do one round at a time. I have to add devices that reset the state of all these things back to their base state when the round ends, so you could do like multiple rounds and have it be really fast back to back. But everything's pretty much there. To do the promotion of guns. And then the other thing you want is at the start of each one of these things, sequences, whatever you want to call them, circuits, you want to have a player event device that's tied to the team you want that triggers on spawn, and all it does is it's going to go through and try and give them every weapon. So like for this one, I'm gonna have to add the Groza, which is T1 W21. And that's the basics, I think, because you just take this and you repeat it over here. So I would go through, I would copy and paste all the stuff without the inventing. I would label everything correctly, and then I would literally just walk down this line, going, okay, fucking deactivate, activate, activate, provide. Deactivate, activate, activate, provide, deactivate. And I would just follow the pattern all the way down with my brain off, and it took a long time, but I think it was worth. So if you want to add more teams, I would follow the grid because it helped me stay organized. Because you like, when you're doing this in bulk, you need to like come over here, copy and paste, and things like that. But yeah, that's the basics. And then remove these, or move these to the end whenever whip, or just remove them. These just give you, these increase melee damage and throwable damage when you get the pan. That's all these things at the end do, because they're tied to these. Or instead of triggering the next kill event, it'll trigger this Team 9 damage increase. And that's the basics. Oh, it'd probably be helpful. So these only have activating player, because the vent will take Team 6, and there's only one person per team, so then this one just picks up that the one player in Team 6 is the activating player and give it to them. Same thing with this guy. Like, these are tied to the team ID, so selected team trigger on spawn, and then you set up triggers when the conditions are met. Oh, and if you're ever doing anything with bounty boxes, correctly show me this. You have to like, you can't just like spawn one in area blocking device. You can't just like spawn it in, scale it up, and it won't actually block this size. You have to go into it, the area blocking device, and mess with these values to put this to like 500 to increase it that way, and then check this block that says block area, and then it'll actually block people from going into that. I think that's everything. I did have this cheat sheet when I was doing things. So I know when I'm like at T9K2, the format's always the team number, and then L is whatever team number it actually is, and then K says what kill is it, and the kill number is N. So you could kind of break it down into this formula if you want. But the first thing you should do is take the weapon of the kill you're on, deactivate it, increase N plus 1, activate that weapon, activate that kill event, provide that item. And this I just had up on my second screen while I was going through and doing all this so I didn't forget. And if you ever want to test it, just do the thing with the spawns. Like, remove all the spawns, put in however many spawns you want for whatever teams you want, and just test in this area and go through all the weapons. And it should just work, hopefully. And then if it doesn't, you probably did something wrong, to be honest, because this one we play tested a bunch and it seems to be working well.